I had been working on the asteroid mining station for nearly 3 years, far from Earth, with only the distant stars for company and the monotonous hum of machinery to keep me sane. The station was a rusting hulk, half buried in rock and floating in the deep void between distant planets. My job was simple: repair the drones, keep the systems running, and occasionally assist the miners with technical issues. I wasn't prepared for the day the ship arrived, nor for the woman who would change everything. It started like any other day. The comm system crackled to life with a transmission from the station's supervisor. "Erik, we've got an unregistered ship approaching. Be ready to inspect and repair anything they might need." I didn't think much of it. Visitors were rare. If the ship wasn't a standard miner's transport or a supply vessel, it was usually trouble. But when the small craft docked with a gentle hiss, I was expecting some exhausted crew or a cargo freighter. Instead, what stepped off the ship was something altogether different. A woman, tall, regal, and alien. Her skin shimmered with a metallic sheen, like liquid silver reflecting the harsh station lights. She moved with the grace of someone accustomed to power, her eyes dark and mysterious, almost glowing with an intelligence that I couldn't comprehend. Her eyes locked onto mine the moment she stepped inside. My heart skipped a beat, but I chalked it up to the isolation. It had been weeks since I had seen anyone other than station staff. Yet this wasn't any normal feeling. There was something primal about the way she regarded me, something deeper than simple curiosity. "Erik," she said, her voice echoing in my mind as if it were a whisper in a dream. "I need your help." The first touch. Her words barely registered before her hand reached out to me. Reflexively, I stepped back, startled by the suddenness of her movement. But she was fast, faster than any human woman could be. Her fingers brushed my skin, just a light touch on my forearm. Instantly, a jolt of energy surged through me. It was like electricity and warmth mixed with the distinct sensation of something else, something alien. I gasped, but the feeling didn't fade. It deepened, as if a thread had been tied between us. I tried to pull away, but my limbs felt heavy, my mind fogged. She didn't seem to notice or care. Instead, her eyes widened slightly, and she whispered something in a language I couldn't understand. Then, to my surprise, she smiled. "You are chosen, Erik," she said, her voice no longer a whisper in my mind but fully articulated. "I can't let you go." The truth behind the touch. Over the following hours, she explained, though I still didn't fully understand. Her name was Lyrian, a member of the Zathi, a race far more advanced than humans. The touch had not been a mere gesture of greeting. It had been a bonding ritual. My body, my DNA, had reacted to it in ways I couldn't explain. Somehow, we were now linked, her mind to mine, her thoughts flooding my consciousness, her emotions like waves crashing on my mind shore. At first, I tried to reject it. I had no interest in being involved with an alien, especially one who seemed to hold so much power. But Lyrian's presence was inescapable. It wasn't just that she could read my thoughts, it was as if her very existence became a part of mine. Her emotions were always there, running in the background of my thoughts like an endless hum. I tried to get some distance, retreating to my quarters, but it didn't matter. Lyrian was always there, her voice, her feelings, like a shadow that followed me everywhere. She was patient, never forceful, but her presence was undeniable. As the days passed, I realized that I couldn't escape her. I couldn't even think straight without her in my mind. She wasn't a mere presence anymore. She had become a part of me. I could feel her worry, her sadness, her desire for something. I tried to distract myself, but her thoughts were always there. "You must come with me," she finally said one evening, her voice crackling in my mind like a soft thunderclap. I need you to help me save my people. The mission, a matter of survival. The full weight of her words didn't hit me until much later. I had always thought of myself as just a mechanic, someone who fixed things, not someone who was involved in galaxy-spanning events. But Lyrian's plea was real, her need palpable. The Zathi were a dying race, their home planet destroyed by an ancient cosmic catastrophe. The technology they used to survive was faltering, and without it, their civilization would collapse. She didn't go into all the details immediately, but I knew enough. The touch wasn't just some random event. It was a bond created for a reason. She needed my help, and now I couldn't just walk away from it. The link between us ensured that I couldn't escape, not physically, not mentally. She had bound me to her cause, for better or worse. The decision to join her wasn't mine to make. It had already been made when our fates were intertwined with that first touch. The struggle, a fight for control. I was no longer just a mechanic. I was a participant in something much larger, something that I didn't fully understand. Lyrian's presence in my mind grew more insistent, and I began to feel her every emotion as though they were my own. Her hopes, her fears, her desires, all of them invaded my mind. It was suffocating. I tried to resist at first. I wanted to flee, to find a way to break the bond between us. But every attempt failed. It wasn't just that I couldn't escape physically. The connection ran deeper than that. My body and mind were attuned to hers, and the longer I fought it, the more it hurt. I felt her pain when I rejected her, and it felt as though my own soul was being torn apart. "You cannot run from me, Erik," she said softly one night, her voice like a distant whisper in my mind. "I don't want to control you. I need you. The bond is not just for me. It is for us both." The choice, accepting the bond. It was then that I realized the truth. Lyrian had never meant to trap me. The bond between us wasn't a prison. It was an opportunity. We were meant to help each other, to grow together. She had chosen me because I was someone who could help her save her people. For the first time since the touch, I stopped resisting. I allowed myself to accept the connection between us. It didn't mean that I was no longer myself. It meant that we were something new, something more than just human and alien. In time, I learned that the Zathi had created the bond intentionally, not just as a means of survival, but as a way to share their knowledge and power with other races. The touch wasn't a trap, it was a partnership. Together, we were stronger, and I realized that Lyrian wasn't just some alien I had been forced into contact with. She was a partner, someone who understood the complexities of life in ways I couldn't even begin to imagine. Conclusion: the new path. As the days passed, I no longer saw Lyrian as a stranger, but as someone who had become a part of my life. The bond we shared was no longer something to fear. It was a bridge between our worlds, between her people and mine. We began to work together, using our combined knowledge and resources to save the Zathi from extinction. In the end, I understood. One touch had changed everything, but it wasn't something to regret. It was the beginning of a new journey, one that would span the stars, and one that I would walk with Lyrian, not as a prisoner, but as a partner in a cause greater than anything I could have imagined.